I think it's all set to go. I am hoping. So, um, I'm gonna keep going. Well, hello everyone. My name is Nagiarry. I am a friend of the Caribbean community in Philadelphia, lover of the Caribbean, and with Haitian heritage in my bloodline. Thank you so much to Miranda and the whole team for inviting me to host this event together, especially a National Caribbean Heritage Month. Today is a special day of celebration and advocacy. It is World Ocean Day, which takes place annually on June 8th. I know that last year, Caribbean Community in Philadelphia hosted boating activities and education engagement at Bartram's Garden, but due to quarantine this year, we're gonna have to be creative and reimagine how we can do so. So here we are on this virtual space for a live, fun, educational time together. This is in honor of the Caribbean Sea, of the Atlantic Ocean, and all the ecosystems that the ocean takes care of. It is in honor of the fisher folk, celebrating them, us as people, and also our Caribbean heritage and the role that the sea has in our lives. So thank you for being here. I really appreciate that. We really appreciate that. And the timeline for today is I'm going to share the importance of the Caribbean Sea. And then I'm going to talk about some challenges and potential ways of counteracting those challenges. Then we're going to focus specifically on marine pollution, our role in our local spaces. Then we'll close by creating an ocean. I'm excited for you to see this, and I'm just glad that you're here. Okay, so since we are not currently by the Caribbean Sea, I don't know if you are, but I'm not. I have the ocean in the background. Yeah, so since we're not hearing the waves and immersing ourselves in blue waters, I'm going to transport you by sharing some visuals. Okay, so there we go. Let me see. I think you can see it right now. Okay, and present. It's loading slowly but surely. Okay, well, welcome to the Caribbean Sea. Yeah, the Caribbean Sea is a beautiful blue sea of the Atlantic Ocean in the tropics of the Western Hemisphere. Fun fact, the Caribbean Sea, not the ocean, is the deepest sea in the world, especially between the Cayman Islands and Jamaica. The salinity is around 3.6%, and the waters appear blue-greenish. And science states that the geological age of the Caribbean Sea is between 160 to 180 million years. Can you believe that? There are more than 90 species of mammals, 500 species of reptiles. There are more than 1,000 documented fish species, including flying fish, moray eels, and parrot fish. And on average, between 9 to 14% of the world's coral reefs, which I'll show you in a bit. Let me find it. Okay, are located by the Caribbean Sea, with the second largest barrier reef named Mesoamerican Barrier Reef. And coral reefs are important. They're important because they increase environmental protection, contain abundant, diverse marine species, they prevent coastal erosion, and they even reduce natural disasters, which is especially important during stormy seasons. They in turn also protect the people living nearby on the islands and support the blue economy. Blue economy means how people utilize the marine environment for economic activity, amid many other things. Yeah. So the coral reefs provide also employment opportunities. And when we're thinking about employment opportunities, it is important that we remember the fisher folk involved in small scale fisheries and how much they rely on the fisheries for feeding their families. They rely on its abundance, resilience, and healthy ecosystems for their daily lifestyles. Yeah, there are many fish species that spend a lot of time by the coral reefs before heading to the open sea, and that helps the fisher folk to cultivate relationships with the sea, and especially for the trade markets. So that's all very important. And coral reefs are known spots for international attraction, bringing more than 8 million tourists a year. And the sea is also known as one of the largest oil production areas, which is very intriguing to me. Yeah. So let's keep looking at pictures. Look at the sea turtle, isn't it so sweet and beautiful? More pictures of our blue sea and fisher folk fishing. Okay, so there are more than 7,000 islands that are part of the Caribbean Sea Network. The Bahamas has the most islands with approximately 700 of them. As you can tell from this picture here, it includes St. Vincent, St. Lucia, Dominican Republic, Haiti, Cuba, Trinidad and Tobago, Guatemala, Barbados, Antigua and Barbuda, and a whole lot more. And I think that's really important to highlight. And historically, the Caribbean Sea is a connector between islands for centuries. Even when thinking back from the transatlantic slave trade, we as people have been communicating with one another and striving to create a space of solidarity. And I hope that we can continue to grow and cultivate that as time goes on. May we continue to see ourselves and appreciate the cultures each island brings and how we're all interconnected and influencing each other. There are a lot of people, millions of people who call the Caribbean home and enjoy spending a lot of time by the beach. It inspires, brings people together, social events, relaxation, all while supporting the local economy. I know for me, growing up in Haiti, I spend a lot of time by the beach and I have a lot of fun memories by the beach with friends, family, my sister. So even while I'm in quarantine right now, I spend a lot of time dreaming about the ocean and it's a form of haven to me. Yeah. So if you have another fun fact, I can't see right now because I have to pull the PowerPoint. But if you have a fun fact, please share them in the comments below. Let's continue to learn and teach each other. I would love to read your comments later and hear what you think about the Caribbean Sea. Okay, so moving on, let me just stop sharing. Okay, all right. Okay, so moving on to the theme of World Ocean Day. The theme of World Ocean Day this year is Innovation for a Sustainable Ocean. Yes, the sea is beautiful, it is sacred, and a being that is worth appreciating and catering to all the time. As we're doing so, there are multiple layers for us to keep considering for the conservation of the Caribbean Sea, the well-being of our people, the animals, fish, and all living beings in general. And I'm going to be focusing on three things. The three things I'm going to focus on is global warming, climate change, and pollution, okay? Due to climate change and global warming, the rise in sea levels has been leading to coastal erosion, heavier storm surges, coastal erosion, sedimentation of coastal waters, and even coral bleaching as well. And coral reefs are likely to keep degrading, which will then impact the Caribbean Sea's fisheries. And the thing is, everything is interconnected. When the coral reefs are impacted, our fisheries are impacted. Then the fisher folk are impacted. The fishing industry is impacted. Our food system is impacted. And ultimately, it's all a cycle. And it's important that we keep being aware of that, of how our families depend on the natural systems that are surrounding us. And when we're speaking about fisher folk, because when we're speaking about them, class is involved, intersectional identities are involved. And it's very important that we remember that and continue to engage them in this conversation. So, yeah. And also, when we're speaking about climate change, it is important that we keep in mind the risk of displacement for coastal communities, how our water system, our underground water resources can become polluted, and it can even impact the turtle nesting areas, which is something else to keep in mind as well. And with all of this in mind, the tourism industry would indeed continue to be impacted because they rely or they're often attracted to the natural resources that the Caribbean Sea provides. So that's all something to continue to keeping in mind in our conversation with our families, with our neighbors, with ourselves as well. Yeah. So the third component that I want to speak about is marine pollution, including oil, plastic bottles, stormwater, chemicals, sewage, food waste that are being flowed into the ocean. There is an average of 5 million barrels of oil being transported daily throughout the Caribbean region amid its many usage. And that can contribute to oil spills in the Caribbean. So that's definitely something that can impact the fishing industry amid a lot of different things. And I think when we're speaking about our marine system, all of the systems that interact with the Caribbean Sea are all things that can be further sustainable and things that we can keep acknowledging in our daily lives and in the work that we do on a daily basis. So if you can think of anything else, please add them in the comment section. Like I said, it's interactive and all about learning and teaching each other. So I would love to hear what you all think. So let me try to see. Nope, I can't. Okay, it would not allow me. Let me see. Yeah, okay. Okay, so we talked about the importance of the Caribbean Sea and some of the current challenges, right? And with all of that in mind, as we're thinking of the word innovation, especially based on the theme of World Ocean Day this year, there's several counteractions, things that we can do to continue to lead to healthier Caribbean Sea, healthier lifestyles, all while supporting our community, the fisher folk community, and the marine ecosystems. So I'm going to share some of them with you. Then I'm going to step from the Zoom and see what you all share along the way. But some of the things that I think is important as we're thinking about how we can become further sustainable, which is interconnected to so many other things. I think one is important that we are aware of our values, who we are as people, and how we think about the environment. How do we engage with it? Who am I excluding? Who am I including? What are my privileges when engaging with sustainability? what is driving my work every day? Are we thinking about the ocean mainly here to serve us selfishly, or are we also considering the needs of the ocean? Because I think it's all really related. I think once we really acknowledge how we think about things, our biases, and what is driving our interactions with people, it can lead to further open-minded conversations about what the Caribbean Sea means to the people and to ourselves. I also think it's important to consider and to not even consider to engage in actively engage with like racial structures, classism, and all the different gender, religion, all of that is part of the human experience and impact how people perceive the ocean, how people perceive their lifestyles with the ocean. So I think that's very, very important and something that we can continue to engage. And I think when we're thinking about what we do on a daily basis, we are bringing ourselves into this work. An organization is created by minds, it's created by people. And how are the people perceiving the work? I think that's definitely something that I think is central and foundational to a lot of this work that we do in terms of innovation for healthier oceans, healthier environment. The other thing that I think is important is supporting the work of organizations who are striving to be further present for the Caribbean Sea, for the Caribbean islands with innovative responses, people in your local spaces who are doing this work. I think also organizations being mindful of the language that they're using to represent communities, but also represent the marine ecosystems and what are the niches that they're engaging to make sure that this work can continue to be intersectional and also see how interconnected everything is. Because it's one thing to create and to voice something and another to be mindful of our approaches to different things. So that's something else. I also think that research, learning, speaking about things openly, having strategies and collaborating across islands and thinking further about our networks. I think it'll be great to see islands continue to think further about solidarity and how we can continue to support each other. And I admire the organizations who are doing this work and who are continuously striving for that goal. Another thing that I think is important, I think a lot of things are important, but I think data, also being mindful of what are the tools, what is the qualitative and quantitative data that we have to talk about the engagement that people have with the ocean, and what is our findings about the ocean. How about using maps and having things to tell a story, and what is the story that we're trying to tell when the data is being used? What is the approaches that we're using? How are we thinking about our various skills in the field? What is my offering? What can I bring to this work? How can I challenge a single story? I also think is all important. And environmental justice, seeing the interconnections between economy, health, all of that, justice, like it's deep work. It is very deep work. And I think as long as it's not as well, by also interacting with our local neighborhoods and our families and listening to the voices of our Caribbean people, creating in solidarity with them, with the fisher folk, what do they have a seat at the table? How are they perceiving the Caribbean Sea? And I think it's important to consider that, because it could be like we're thinking differently about it. Therefore, how can we build and make sure that our ecosystems can continue to thrive in ways that are important? I think also when we're thinking about natural disasters, having more sustainable emergency management for the people, and really organizing so that we can be prepared with mitigation strategies ahead. Because wow, natural disasters, yeah, it really impact people's lives and yeah, how people interact with the world and around them. Also, reducing our carbon footprints through different ways, using less. I mean, it depends on where you are. Not all islands have that luxury, but like when you're taking a shower, some people say like spend less time using electricity to shower on a daily basis. As you're showering, to be mindful of your water intake with the electricity intake as well. So that's all interconnected. Also increasing the management of fisheries, like to not overfish. I mean, the thing is, it's people's fisher folk, they rely on that. So how can you provide them with the tools with policy changes and with conversation, continue to be mindful of how they think about it and how we can balance things out to have further harmony with the earth and with the people who rely on the services that they can offer for their families. And I think having more energy efficient materials to counteract sewage overflow, investing in restoration and conservation of coastal ecosystems, coastal planning, when thinking about coral reefs erosion, all of that, thinking more about how that's part of what is needed in a bigger, like, it's interconnected with, like I said earlier, with our fishing industry and all of that. So how can we be further in tune with all of those interconnections and plan ahead, plan with mitigation strategies so that we can continue to take care of our earth, continue to take care of our people and our needs as people. So yeah, I also think not over exploiting natural resources. Yeah, I think that's definitely important because on one hand, the earth is sacred, the ocean is sacred. So how can we continue to think about the sacred? I mean, can you say sacredness? You can say sustainable. You can say it's, I mean, just marine and it's just a natural resources. Whatever word you choose to describe the natural environment, it is still its own being. So how can we balance or think about the economy, the blue economy, and also the needs to sustain the ocean? I think there's a lot of organizations who are asking those questions and doing this work, and which is great. And so I think that's amazing. Okay, so I'm going to focus actually, no, I want to check what do you think? What do you think is important when thinking about innovation for World Ocean Day, for sustainable ocean? How do you think about that? I would love to read your thoughts in the comment section and how you think about that. What is your perspective? Let me see. I'm not going to stay for long. Oh, awesome. Oh, I'm glad. That's amazing. Okay. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to what I was doing. All right. So now we're focusing on marine pollution, right? Which is going to be the focus for the rest of our conversation. Marine pollution impacts the Caribbean Sea in so many ways, including aquatic ecosystems, the tourism industry. And I think it is important for us to continue to think about our role in our local community. Since this is Caribbean Philadelphia, and we're going to focus on Philadelphia right now, the Caribbean Sea is interconnected with the Gulf of Mexico, and largely the Atlantic Ocean, right? So by taking care of our local spaces, by taking care of where we are in Philadelphia right now, we're taking care of the larger system. We're taking care of the Gulf of Mexico, the Atlantic Ocean, and even the Caribbean Sea, because water flows, water keeps going. Water is amazing. Yeah, so the more we're taking care of our local spaces where we are, even if it's like miles away, we're taking care of life in itself, of the Caribbean Sea, since we're focusing on that right now. Yeah, so my goal right now is to provide shared tools for our role in terms of marine pollution reduction, wherever we are, in action steps for what we can do to take care of the Caribbean Sea moving forward, and to celebrate fisher folk by diving into the ocean when we go outside. I'm going to show you in a bit. So, okay, let me share this. I'm going to reshare the presentation because I want to talk about sewer system in our local spaces in Philadelphia as we're speaking about marine pollution. So, one second, y'all. Okay, there we go. Present. There we go. We're figuring out Zoom, everyone. We're doing this. We're doing this. Okay. All right. Where is it? The frozen? No. Okay. All right. So the sewer system in Philadelphia. In Philadelphia, there is the separate sewer system and there is the combined sewer system. Okay. And for the most part, they're on the ground. And during dry weather, the combined sewer system and wastewater treatment plants have the capacity to transport all of the sewage from your house, from the street. They all would head into the sewage treatment plant. But when it is raining or when it is snowing, especially heavily, the sewer pipes and treatment plants reach their capacity because there's so much that the sewer system can take. The sewer system has its limitations, right? So what the city of Philadelphia did in partnership with the EPA and many other partners, they ended up allowing the excess waters, which very, very often includes pollutants, unhealthy waters. Like imagine you're flushing the toilet, it's raining a lot, and the sewer system has reached its capacity. Well, it would be discharged, most likely, often, to the nearby creeks and rivers. Do you see? Yeah. So, yeah. So you can see how your home is interconnected to our rivers and our creeks. In this picture, the difference between the combined sewer system, which would lead all of the like your home and the storm drain inlet to the sewage treatment plant to be treated before heading to the rivers or the ocean, unless it is raining. The difference is the separate sewer system, the storm drain, the water or the pollutants from the street would not go to the sewage treatment plant. It would go to the outfall pipe, right? But the rest, like the wastewater from your home, would go to the sewage treatment plant unless it's raining heavily and the sewer pipes has reached its capacity. So I just wanted to share that difference with you because the city of Philadelphia has both. It has separate sewer system and combined sewer system. If you live in an area that has separate sewer system, imagine there is a trash a pollutant right next to the storm drain inlet, it is going to end up, as you can see here, to the outflow pipe and ultimately to the creek and our waterways. Therefore, it is important for us to take care of our street, to not pollute our street, and to ultimately be good and take care of our local spaces. Because by taking care of our local spaces, we're taking care of ourselves. Let me show you the picture. Okay, here. Philadelphia has rivers and creeks, right? As you can see from this picture. Before, like decades before, there were more creeks compared to now, but they have been placed inside of sewer systems for different reasons, which, yeah. So if you live, for example, I live in West Philly, and if I'm flushing my toilet and it's raining heavily outside, and yeah, well, just imagine there's a pollutant. The pollutant would most likely end up to Darby Cobbs, so Cobbs Creek. And Cobbs Creek and all of the different ones that you see here are interconnected with the Delaware River. When you're wherever you live on this watershed, in the Philadelphia watershed, the Delaware River, the water is going to keep flowing. The creek is going to end up to the Delaware River. The Delaware River is the source of drinking water for millions and millions of people, okay? So the more we take care of our local neighborhoods, the more we're taking care of the local creeks, which are near your homes. I can send you a link later if you're interested, so you can figure out which local creek you live by. You can also go visit and spend some time outdoors. And yeah, so as I was saying, the more we're taking care of our local creeks, of our local neighborhoods, the more we're taking care of the Delaware River. And ultimately, we're also taking care of the Atlantic Ocean. And also, we're taking care of the Caribbean Sea, the Gulf of Mexico. You see? So, yeah, that's all. I mean, to even take a step further, right now we're in COVID-19, right? And we spend a lot of time indoors. The Mayor Jim Kenney, mentioned recently, I think in April, cannot tell you exactly which month I read that article, but that people were flushing their gloves in the toilet, which would end up clogging the sewer system. And ultimately, that would lead to even more. Imagine there's a storm. That not only provides hiccups to the sewer system, but also to our streets with overflow, and ultimately our creeks with pollutants, and the bigger picture as we're speaking about earlier. So I think when we're thinking about why would people put their gloves in the toilet, like why? I think as we're thinking about the reason why and what's the motivation and all of that, it is important that we keep in mind and get to know and educate. Well, educate, provide this education, which we're doing here right now, tell people why it's important not to do so, and also get to know how they perceive the environment and how can we think creatively about what the environment means to the people, especially, I mean, to different neighborhoods. Oh my God, there's so many things to say. Well, I'm thinking about different neighborhoods who are facing racial disparities, right? And who's they're not provided the resources to learn about the importance of environmental education or meeting them in how they perceive it. And wow, there's so many things to say, but yeah, like if you're not really thinking about why people are doing so and how can you provide them the resources for their own well-being and to cultivate environmental education and doing this work in many ways, intersectional ways, and be mindful of the pollutants that we're also adding to their neighborhoods, then I think at the end of the day, there's a lot of work to do. And yeah, so not only should we be thinking about and people who are doing this work, authorities and all of that, what they're adding, but also what can we do as people, as community leaders, as people who are taking care of our neighborhoods? Because right now we're in control, we can be in control of what we do. We can be in control of how am I showing up for myself? How am I taking care of myself in my neighborhood? That's my power too. That's my form of resistance, and that's my form of showing up for my people in my neighborhood. So I think with everything going on, everything that we can talk about and acknowledge, there's also the self. There's also like, let me take care of myself right now. Let me take care of my local neighborhood. Let me go be do this and that. Because my people matter. My needs matter, and how me living in a healthy, breathable neighborhood to the best ways that I can is also important while advocating for changes. So yeah, okay. Well, let me show you, I want to talk about plastic. Plastic, okay? Plastic. Plastic bags. I learned that a couple months ago. It takes like 20 years for it to be dissolved. And plastic bottles, like 450 years. Can you believe that? And imagine it gets to the ocean and get dissolved even more, it can take even more time because it gets into tiny particles. And yeah, that's all interconnected. And it's also impact the fish and the marine ecosystems because they may see this and think, wow, it's food, and they end up digesting it, and it doesn't help. It doesn't maintain a healthy lifestyle for them. And I think it's all important to also consider as we are thinking about what we do on a daily basis. And ultimately, like I said, everything it's interconnected. Your local spaces impact the Delaware River, which impact the ocean and the Caribbean Sea, and impacts the fisher folk because they rely on the sea. It impacts the coral reef. It impacts the tourism. It impacts. It's like a ripple effect. So the more we see that, the more it's important. So here's what you can do, right? Okay, let me think. Here's things that people have shared. Recycle, reduce, and reuse. You can have a bag, right? Okay. You can have a bag. This is a bag from the Keep It Clean, Protect the Tacony. I have that next to my so you can use a bag and you can go shopping with it all the time, and you hold it, you go to the market, reuse. It's important so that we can reduce the amount of plastic and bags that we use, especially when we go shopping to a supermarket and all of that. And I know it's something that we have to keep ourselves accountable for, so yeah, it's important to recycle. You cannot recycle plastic bags. Do not recycle plastic bags. No. You cannot recycle styrofoam. You cannot recycle light bulbs. You cannot recycle needles and syringes. No. And paper towels. I mean, it depends. The thing is, especially here are some things that you can recycle. For example, if you have a plate or a piece of paper and it has a lot of grease in it, you cannot recycle that because it's greasy. It's food, especially if it's soiled paper. It's a soiled cardboard, and yeah, so you cannot recycle that, right? But you can recycle paper. You can recycle paper as long as it's not greasy with food and all of that. You can recycle food containers. You can recycle detergent and shampoo bottles, you know, as long as it's the best that you can do with it's not greasy and all of that, as I was saying earlier. You can recycle metals, you can recycle glass, you can recycle cardboard. Yeah, and there's a lot of information online that you can read about that. If you also would like for me to send it to you, I can do that. Just let me know. I'm here, and it's all about resource sharing for our community. So just let me know. And also, well, there's a trash can. Put it in the trash can. That's it. having community leaders, as I was saying earlier, is also another way. You can become a block captain if you choose, and depends on your capacity and you know, can that be done? I don't know what are the requirements. So that's also another way. You can engage with policy changes, and local officials get to know what's happening in a local neighborhood when it comes to advocacy with these things. You can support organizations who are doing this work. There are many in Philadelphia. Oh, there's also if you want to grow your own food, you can also do that. I mean, it's all interconnected, because I think what people feed themselves also impacts the pollutants that we see, and you know, having things that feed ourselves healthy is important. You know, educate our children, doing fun activities, thinking creatively, just like we're doing here, all important. Oh, also, there is the Green City Clean Waters, which is a plan that Philadelphia has to increase green tools for managing stormwater. That means planting more trees, having tree trenches, the rain gardens. The rain gardens absorbs the stormwater before, and it reduces the amount of runoff that may end up to the nearby storm drains, and ultimately the pipes to not overflow, right? It reduces that. So implementing more of the natural environment tools also helps reduce the amount of pollutants that end up going to our river and creeks and all of that. So I think all of that is also important, and also getting to know what do people want, how to perceive the environment. How can a neighborhood be planned in a way where their needs are also kept in mind while implementing all these different strategies? How do they perceive the environment? What would they like to see more of? Yeah. So yeah, I think all of that is important. If you think of anything else, like I said earlier, please add them to the comment section. Let's teach each other. Let's learn from one another. It's what we're here to do. That's what it's all about. So now, guess what we're about to do? We're about to create our ocean, okay? I know I have like this ocean in the background. I have the blue and all of that. But we're gonna go take a plane, right? Or however you're gonna get down, if you're gonna fly or so we're going to head into the Caribbean Sea right now, okay? I'm gonna take y'all there. Just let me get up. Well, also I have the Haiti shirt because you know I'm representing the Caribbean. Okay. Let me see. Stop share. Okay. Well, like I said, we're gonna go outside and we're going to head into the ocean and have some fun, okay? Let me just stop video and I'm gonna take you to the ocean because that's also the fun part. Okay. I'm still here. One question. Okay. All right. There we go. Let me see. I think you can all see me now. Well, okay. We're outside now. Because let me see how I can make this work because I'm using my computer and I think you being able to see me. Oh, I have like, you see this? I added some decorations for all of us because we're now in another space where we're by the Caribbean Sea right now. So that's exactly where we are. Okay, let me give you some fun facts about the ocean. Okay, some fun facts. All right, the majority of life on Earth, on the planet, is aquatic. And there's so many more species that we haven't even discovered. There's so many species that we haven't discovered. Can you believe it? And a part of me is, I think it's good that it's in its stillness, existing in this world. But yes, so and I think also like water is in us. Can you like it's all I get excited just thinking about it. So that's one fact one. The other fact is our ocean covers more than 70% of our Earth's surface. 70%. Yes, 70%. So that's another fact. The longest mountain is underwater. We only know a fraction of marine species, like I said. And can you picture a mountain underwater? I heard there's even volcanoes and all of that. So I think it's all wow, intriguing, right? What are you intrigued by when it comes to the ocean? I would love to hear. I would love to know how you think about it. Yes. And oxygen is provided by the ocean too. When you think of, wow, let me talk about algae. That's one. Algae. Okay. I'm going to show the ocean, but I'm going to be making it. Actually, let me see if I can make myself more visible. Oops. Okay. Let me see. Okay. So here we are. We have algae. Algae. Wow. What is algae? Like, what do you think about algae? I don't know if when you go to the ocean and you see algae, like what comes to mind? Some people are a little comfortable about it, like the way that it touches your feet. I know I used to get a little bit like, it's touching my feet. But they're so important. They're so important. They provide us with oxygen, but not only they provide us with oxygen, they also provide oxygen for the ocean and marine lives. Like without algae, a lot of marine lives were not able to exist. I don't think so. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I just think it's intriguing. Even coral reefs depend on algae. Coral reefs depend on algae. And so let's go back to what I was saying earlier. Without algae, coral reefs, where would the coral reefs be? Without coral reefs, our food system. You see? So people who are studying algae, getting to know algae, the people who are studying it every day, doing research, it's important. I'm thankful the people who are studying such beautiful beings, creatures. It's I don't think it's alive. Is it alive? I don't know. But I just get excited. So yeah, they require sunlight and nutrients to grow. But the thing is, they can also be harmful. Something called algae blooms due to the overgrowth of algae. So yeah, I think I haven't done. I don't really know much about it, but I do know that an overgrowth of algae is harmful for the marine life and for marine life and ultimately us and life as a whole, because like I said, interconnections. Okay, so I'm adding, you can't see the ocean yet because it's a surprise. Okay, all right, well, we got that, we got the boats, you see, because tourism is important. And yeah, imagine you're going on a cruise, you're heading on the cruise right now. Like, can you see it? Can you imagine yourself going on a cruise? You're going to where are we going? Since we're going to Trinidad and Tobago, right? I don't know where I want to go. I think I want to go to I think I want to go to. Wow, there's a lot of great places I want to go. Please tell me in the comments section where we're going. Where are we going? Where are we going with this boat? With this cruise. This cruiser, you know. We have two. So, you know, this okay, let's let me give you options. Wow. I don't know, because some people are for other, you know, I don't want to be, I want to support whatever. Actually, no, you choose, okay? But this is what I'm gonna say. This is the okay. Well, the Bahamas is really well visited often. It's a place that people go a lot. So let's say this one is going to the Bahamas, and this one is going to St. Lucia. You know, I'm gonna go to St. Lucia because I want to know, like, I want to go to St. Lucia. I just think because I haven't visited or I haven't heard, I haven't seen much pictures about it. Let me go to St. Lucia. Let me go for the adventure. Okay, so we're going to St. Lucia. You can't see it yet. You're gonna be surprised. You're gonna be surprised. I promise. Okay. Well, apart from, let me see. Well, we have the fishnets. Okay. So we're in Jamaica right now. No. Well. Okay, we're in Jamaica. We're using this fishnet. Okay. To go catch some fish. We're gonna catch some. What are we catching? We're catching parrotfish or eels. I don't know. Whatever the fisher folk catches. We're catching that. Okay. So we're catching it. All right. Well, we caught a fish right here. This is a fish. We just caught it, and that's it. Thank you very much. Well, I'm gonna put it back. I'm gonna put it back because no, let me put it back. I'm gonna put it back in the water. So bye fish. Fish is living and doing its thing. What else do we got here? Sea turtles, y'all. Sea turtles are amazing. They come on land for they come on land and they come on land to get fresh air and to breed and create new life, and they're amazing. Sea turtles. I remember you saw the picture earlier, so sea turtle. Okay. I'm having a lot of fun right now. I think you can tell. I don't know. We also have crabs. Oh my gosh, y'all, crabs. Oh my god, I remember when I was in Haiti, and there was a certain time that I'm like, I cannot be by the beach at this time because it's getting dark. And hermit crabs, they come out at night. They're nocturnal beings. So there's a time I saw one, and I'm like, wow, it's time that I head because they live in groups. They have a community. They're not solitary. They travel together. So anyway, this is our hermit crabs, and they live in large colonies. They're amazing, and they even migrate from one shell to the other, and they can grow from 0.5 to 16 inches in length, depending on the species. So I think that's, and there's more than 800 species, or I guess 800 species of hermit crabs, and they're omnivorous. So that's something else. Okay, lastly, okay, we're gonna talk about rocks. Rocks are amazing. Okay, rocks are so amazing, y'all. You would never imagine. I think rocks is like, wow. Like, what would we do around rocks? I don't know. I just think they're amazing because there's 3 types I've heard. There's a type that's like formed by volcanoes. There's another type that's like sedimentary, meaning like they're like different parts of a rock, or even animals, or they're just separated. Sedimentary, basically. And I think those might be sediments. Oops. How do you show? It's gravity, y'all. I'm trying to. Anyway, so this is the rocks. Okay, I think I'm showing right now. Gravity. Okay, so yeah, they're amazing. Rocks are amazing and important because they just are. And the other type is metamorphic because they're transformed by heat or whatever else. So anyway, they're like in the bottom of the ocean, the crust of the ocean. You can also find them there, but I don't think it's visited, or there's not a lot of people who are able to, or I don't think anybody, I don't know, don't quote me on this, who go like all the way down in the ocean and to dig down the crust to find more rocks. But anyway, I think, okay, moving on. Okay, well now we are ready for the reveal. We're ready for the reveal now, okay? So, who's ready for the reveal? Okay, I had a lot of fun doing this. I promise it's not, don't get shocked, don't get surprised. It's just our little ocean, okay, away from everything. So the people who go into the Bahamas, let's go to the Bahamas. The people who St. Lucia with me, please, let's go. Okay? All right. I think I'm gonna try to do this. Okay. Wow! Wait, is this showing? I think it is. I don't know because I'm using my computer. So what is this showing? I don't know. Okay. So this is it. Okay. This is it. Our bolts are fine. They're fine. I know they're not standing, but anyway. So we're making it work. We're making it work. This is Bahamas. This is St. Lucia. So we're having fun here. And so the reason why it's green is because remember when I said it can be, the ocean can be blue or greenish. So this is our blue right here. This is our green right there. Our, with the algae and everything. We have the crab in there. We got everything. So thank you for being part of the Caribbean community of Philadelphia Ocean. I promise the boats are fine. they're just in their own world in a way. So ultimately, we've had a lot of fun together, and I hope that you enjoyed visiting whichever island you visited with me right now. And let us continue to take care of our earth, take care of our local spaces, take care of ourselves by taking care of the environment. Let us continue to see the importance of solidarity, of collaboration, of thinking about different tools to think creatively about sustainability and innovation. Let us continue to remember the marine ecosystem, the fisher folk, what they need. Since we're also celebrating them right now, let's continue to celebrate them, to elevate them by also thinking about their stories and all of that. And overfishing, coral reefs, Caribbean Sea, Atlantic Ocean, and here we're in Philadelphia right now. I'm in Philadelphia. I think a lot of you may be in Philadelphia since it's Caribbean Community of Philadelphia. And let's take care of our local spaces, of the source, being mindful of the source system, and our people, our families, because I think everything is just a bigger picture. So thank you so much. Happy World Ocean Day. Happy National Caribbean Heritage Month. Thank you for everything that you do every day. Let's keep on taking care of our earth ultimately, and continue to support Caribbean Community in Philadelphia. They're doing amazing work, supporting the people, our people. And yeah, so if you need any resource, I'm also here. I'm a friend of the Caribbean Community in Philadelphia. You know, Haitian things, lifestyle, I'm heritage, I'm here. Writing, storytelling, human geography, I'm here. So yeah, ultimately, let's continue to grow and take care of ourselves, take care of our people, take care of the ocean, allowing the ocean to speak to us, listening to the ocean, listening to our beings, and elevate. So thank you. I'm going to end this live. Let me check if there's anything. It is time, but I can check to see if anybody shared anything that I could share or before ending this live. Let's see. Okay. Okay. That's just such a blessing. It's just showing so much. Oh, thank you. So sweet. Happy first. Okay. I think I'm gonna end this. Let me see. I was trying to see what are the comments and anything that people shared. Okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna end this. So have a great day. Have a good night. And we matter, the ocean matter, and ultimately, yes, all of it. Okay. Bye. Take care now.